Good morning, beloved. As we continue through the stories of Elijah and King Ahab, we see today is really setting the scene or setting it up for another confrontation between Elijah and King Ahab that will take place tomorrow. So you have to wait for the good stuff tomorrow, huh? Today is just setting it up, setting the scene and the context, and we have just another example of how wicked and evil this kingdom was, especially with Queen Jezebel running it. She will go to the extent that she will go to get her own way. We saw already in the past here, not only has she led the Israelites astray to worship foreign gods or other gods with the Baals and the Asherah poles, but now, of course, she's using the justice system to commit murder and to commit injustice, really, and to steal this land, this property. Just corruption. And we could look maybe and take a step back and think, gosh, I noticed some similarities in our own government sometimes, You're just using and abusing the justice system is supposed to bring forth justice instead to bring forth more injustice. And we might say the same thing about the church sometimes, with her ups and downs and the different things that happen that we see happening in the church. And one of the things that we're reminded of, or we get to see, is that we can ask, where is God in all this? Where is God? Why is He letting all this keep happening and happening? And we'll see tomorrow. He's right there watching, and He always, when the leadership goes astray like this, He will always send His prophets in to try to correct and bring back the leadership. So tomorrow, poor Elijah has to walk over, confront King Ahab again on the road while he's going to get this land and say, "What are you doing, King Ahab? This is not the right way." God is He always will send people to help us convert, to wake us up or shake us out of sinfulness if we become blind to our own sinfulness. He sends people to wake us up. He is just so patient for our conversion. The sad thing is that there's a lot of innocent people like Naboth who seem to just get walked over and squashed along the way. You say, where's His justice? And we know sometimes God brings about justice in this life. Sometimes He makes us wait and He brings forth eternal justice in the next life. Maybe we'll understand in the next life, the big picture of how God's working everything in. But either way, God always has the last word. He always has the last action. He always brings about some kind of an eternal justice for us. And so it's about trusting Him along the way, especially when you read the gospel. Don't you read the gospel and think, come on, Jesus, if I do this, boy, I'm going to get walked all over in this world, An eye for an eye is a little easier sometimes, to live with than offer no resistance to one who is doing evil. Oh my gosh, what are you saying, Lord? If somebody strikes you on the right cheek, strike them back, No, turn the other cheek. That's so hard, First, it's Jesus telling us to go against our survival instincts that say when somebody's attacking you, our instincts either say fight or flight, right? And Jesus is saying, no, stand and take the hit. Well, that's no fun at all. If I do that, I'm going to get walked over, used, abused, treated like a doormat. One of the things that Jesus is focusing us on with that teaching, and even with poor Naboth here, we see Naboth stand strong in the face of the king who's trying to take his land. And one of the things that Jesus is saying is basically doing these things is not about getting a certain end result or about getting your way or changing the other person, but doing these things is all about changing us, allowing us to change, to be transformed. Offer no resistance to one who is evil. When somebody strikes you on the right cheek, don't strike them back. Don't fight, don't flight, don't strike them back and perpetuate the evil or perpetuate the harm that was done, but let it die with you. And that's what Jesus shows us on the cross. He lets all the evil, all the sinfulness just die with him. He takes it to the grave, and then God resurrects him. And that's really hard to do. But doing that is what transforms us more and more into the image and likeness of Christ. If we go back to we pull out just a little something from the first reading, we might wonder, what's the big deal with Naboth anyway? Just give him the land, Get a better deal. Somebody wants to, says, I like your car and I'll give you my Porsche. What are you going to do? Take the Porsche, right? You're going to trade up. Somebody says, I want to buy your house because it's right next to my house, and instead I'll give you this mansion on the beach that I have. What are you going to do? Probably take the mansion on the beach, be living with Peggy over in Coronado, You see, in our world, we always looking to upgrade and to increase and to get more, and to say, well, that's a better deal. Why not? What's wrong with that? But I think if we just back off and look at what's happening, what's being said here, Naboth, his answer especially, God forbid, basically, that I should give you my ancestral heritage. Imagine if somebody gave you some kind of family heirloom that's been passed down generation after generation and then they give it to you, Now, if somebody walks up to you and says, hey, I'll give you my family heirloom for your family heirloom, you're going to say, what? I don't care about your family heirloom. They don't care about my family heirloom. This has all the memories in it and all the people connected with it. My family's connected to this. Why would I trade you family heirlooms? That's stupid. So that's one thing that's happening here, right? Naboth's land is his family heirloom, his family heritage. The king Ahab has his own family heirloom and heritage as that land. Why would we trade land? No, this is my family's land. Their whole identity was built on their land. They would begin to, they say, well, who are you? Well, my name is this, and I'm son of this person, and who's son of that person, who's son of that person. They have their whole lineage memorized, and the land stays with the family lineage. If I was to get rid of the land, let go of that, it's like I'm denying my family. Remember, like the prodigal son who squandered his inheritance and just left the family, didn't care about them. Think if somebody gave you that family heirloom and you're like, taking this to the pawn shop, give me a little money and go buy a pizza with it. What does that say to you about what you think about your family and the person who gave you that family heirloom, No, family heirloom, those things are priceless, So that's why the king's like, come on, I'll give you a good price for the land. He's like, this land is priceless. It's my heritage. What are the things in our own life that are priceless, that have been passed on to us generation after generation? Maybe it's different lessons on living life well, different wisdom. Maybe have we been given any family heirlooms already? Do we have any of those in our family? If we don't, we should start one, Start one in this generation and get these memories passed on. What are the things, because these are the things that help build family continuity and family life and family memories. That's why it's important to, at some point, plant roots where you are, so that you can build those memories. That's the hard part of our generation now, is people are always moving around so often, and we don't live close to home anymore, So many people, they're moving parishes so often, so they don't build roots in a parish, We're blessed to have this school still, because there's generation after generation after generation of families that have gone to the school. They send the grandparents went here and they sent their kids here, and then those kids sent their kids here, and they might live 45 minutes away, but they're coming back here because that's where they went to school, and they want their family roots in that school. All these build up the family and build up the memories that we have. What are the things in society coming against you to, in a sense, tear you apart or separate you or distract you from your family? Your immediate biological family, but also the family of God, your parish, your parish family community. What's coming against you or to distract you or tear you apart of that, to uproot you from that? What's trying to take you apart from your relationship with God? Who's trying to buy you out? How is society trying to buy you out? Yeah. These are all things to keep in mind as we go. And the good thing is, remember, God is always around. He's always here, and he'll always send his prophets to speak into our lives, to draw us back, like we'll see tomorrow with Elijah coming to confront King Ahab.